What's up, guys?
Hello, then, guys.
How is everybody doing?
How are you doing? Last fucking dude, I hope you had the time of your life. It's something that's predictable. Max Verstappen fucked you up again, but I hope you had the time of your life. Yeah, baby. 2023 in the books.
Yeah, baby.
You know, can I just say something? Thank God for us.
I didn't know where you were going with that, and I was so pleased that you took
I'm just going to say, like, this season was, like, on the surface, this was a fucking snoozer. But, you know, and we used to say this about other fans, and they would get into it, and they'd be like, it's actually about the midfield battles. That's really what it's all about. But, like, I'll be fucked if we didn't make this season as entertaining as possible. Can you imagine what it would be like if next year there's an actual title battle? Can you imagine how good this podcast will be then?
I thought you were going to say, it'd be so much worse if we actually had to talk about the actual
Yeah, that's
races.
also true. It might be worse.
It's like, okay, so we have to like dig into the strategy that cost Leclerc the win here in this super tight. Like that was terrible. Like we actually had to do that last year for a second
right.
with Leclerc.
Yeah.
We're like, damn, how did he lose this race other than Ferrari sucking?
Totally.
We got to get into like the deg and all that shit. That was hard.
Deg can suck my deg. You know what I'm saying? That's what I say.
No, you know, we definitely don't spend enough time sucking our own dicks on this podcast.
Well, it's usually, I feel like you're the one usually doing it. So like, I'm going to suck my own dick right now.
No, well, because I'm the one getting shot at most of the time.
Right. That's right.
And I feel like, honestly, this has been a moment. I mean, first of all, let's just go ahead and say that this race sucked.
Yeah, this race was this
was no Las Vegas GP.
That's right. That's the new bar. I was literally thinking that. I was thinking that during the race. I was like, this ain't no This ain't no LVGP, dude. This ain't no LVGP.
This purpose-built track that's only point.
Yeah.
It's an island designed for this one thing. Purpose-built to race. And it sucks every year. And it's where we end the season every year. And somehow it doesn't get near, and it takes place in a country that has 9 people in it.
Yeah, the stands were empty as fuck today.
and somehow nobody complains about it. Nobody complains about it. I mean, people, but nowhere near as much as that they complain about the Las Vegas GP. Of course,
yeah.
Where people in a country where people actually live.
Right.
You know why it's there is because I didn't know this. Abu Dhabi is like the richest fucking place. Like per capita is insane.
Yeah.
Like I think per capita it might even be richer than Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Like they literally have like $1.6 million like invested per citizen that lives there. It's nuts.
Dude, like 1.5 million people live there.
And only half of them are like citizens.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like it's so only like half of those people they actually are like fucking with.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like
it's the Monaco. It's the Monaco of the Middle East.
But Andrew Schultz. I was watching him. He did a joke like he was in Dubai.
Yeah.
And it was like all about like how Dubai like they're like broke motherfuckers compared to
Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah. They're like the big dogs of the UAE.
Yeah.
But no outcry over this being the culmination of the entire season, and it's a snooze.
Yeah, it was.
It's a
snooze.
It was
seriously because this race was interesting, but not because of the track. It was interesting because there was like 5 people battling for one position, and there was a ton of movement today. There was money being won and lost today. There was things. There was second, third on the line. There was Charles Leclerc attempting to put the entire team of Ferrari on his fucking back after they fucked up the strategy yet again. But, so the race, there was stuff there, but not because of the track. Not because of the track, just because of the culmination of the season. But before we get into the full culmination of the season, we got to get into our daddies of the pod, baby. We got to thank Kayla, Robin, Jordan Texera, Jay Lingle, Spencer Grieve, Javier Mera, Sheila Valeri, Chandler, Luana Galbano, Ali Santana, Carla Warlow, Kimberly Huelen, Alonso Over My Face 69, Donya Denad, Jimmy, Mohammed Patel, Kimmy, sponsored by Mommy of the Pod, Hollister 584, Liv Lot, Kat, Future Dogter Dion, Steph Grossi, JB Fresh, Laura, Emily Gillenwater, Cody Hull is my F1 daddy, Branch W, Keep Up the Signs Hate, Hunter Scruggs, and our newest daddy, Sal Manila Mozzarella, baby. Yeah, you can have fun with a daddy name. There's some people starting to have some fun with some daddy names. And if you're a dad and you want to switch up your daddy name, you can do that anytime because daddies, you can always change your name if you want. Okay.
Wait, let's get into this week.
Yeah.
And speaking of hypocrisy,
Carlos
Sainz did dirty again by the track. Nobody seems to be complaining that he hit a bump.
Right.
How is this not a black eye for fucking for
Abu Dhabi,
the UAE, and the people who built the circuit over there?
Right, yeah.
This is what's the thing you always say? It's your job.
It's literally your job.
Literally your job.
It's your job.
At least Las Vegas has multiple jobs.
Yeah.
Your one job is to be a goddamn racetrack.
Yeah. Well, guess what?
And not have any fucking bumps.
Hey, Venkis, guess what? We're going to be talking about the Las Vegas GP the entire fucking episode. You think this is going to be a pod about Abu Dhabi? No. It's going to be about us getting out more of our hatred towards people shitting on the Las Vegas GP.
No, but it's a great counterpoint.
Yeah,
Carlos Sainz literally had his whole fucking weekend ruined again through no fault of his own.
Well,
because of the error. No, he hit a bump.
Right.
He hit a bump.
Right.
Oh no! Should I go in harder on him? Should I say that he?
I mean, yeah, you could argue that was.
I'm caught between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, right.
Because I want to make it not his fault to prove my Vegas point, but I also want to make it his fault because this has also been a great week for me because he lost to Carlos Sainz. He lost to Charles Leclerc I've been proven right in so many different respects.
Yeah.
Vegas was a shit.
Yeah.
And Carlos Sainz lost to Leclerc in the points.
Yes.
Guess how many times Carlos Sainz didn't finish this year?
How many?
Twice. Guess how many times Leclerc didn't finish?
It felt like every week.
5 times!
5 DNFs. Well, technically, so wait, did Sainz technically not fit? He was technically a DNF today? Is that what happened today? But he was just like out the point.
No, he finished.
I don't think he did. I think today that he technically DNF'd. I don't know.
Okay, so it's still
they pulled him like on the last lap. It was not like he was racing up until the very end. It kind of slipped through the cracks. They retired him, but it doesn't really count.
The point is he had so many more retirements.
Yeah.
And he still beat him in the points. So all you guys, all you Carlos Sainz fans that were saying that, he's winning in the points, he beat him what do you got to say now? Shut up. He's beat him the past 2 out of the 3 years.
Yeah. Charles didn't even start a fucking race this year, dude. Didn't even start the fucking race. Dude, this was the Charles Leclerc today was the Charles Leclerc redemption story and also the classic Charles Leclerc story. Should we where do we want to start? I mean, where do we want to start? There's so much to get. There's so much to cover.
Do we want to get with? Okay, just to finish my Carlos Sainz Charles Leclerc rant.
Yes.
So there was a great contrapuntal thing. Another great parallel.
Yes.
We had the Vegas last week. The Vegas overreaction versus the underreaction of the stinker that is Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
We also had a great moment where Carlos was nowhere this week.
Right.
He crashed. He was nowhere in qualifying. He blames traffic.
Right.
He's like, traffic. He never takes account. He never says like I've been struggling.
Yeah.
You never hear that from him.
Yeah.
It's never his fault.
Right. That's how
when he gets out qualified pretty much every week.
Yeah.
But he struggles with traffic. Then they asked Daniel Ricciardo about it.
Yeah.
Did you see this? No. Oh, Daniel Ricciardo came in hot. Ooh. Nice guy, Daniel Ricciardo came in hot.
What did Daniel, friend of the pod, say?
Daniel Ricciardo said, between us drivers, we know that if you do a corner 2 seconds in front of another driver, you're going to make me lose a tenth or two in the corner. When it's tight in Q1 and Q2, I see people giving a bit of third gear on purpose in some corners to maybe make the others lose some time in corners. We don't consider it impeding because it's not like you need to lift, but you're giving him dirty air and you're giving him a bad run in that corner. Ricciardo, though, reckons it's a case of the pot calling the kettle black. I don't know why he does it, but he is always the culprit, the Honey Badger said with a laugh. I don't know why. I don't know if he's just messing with us, but he definitely seems to be the one that everyone likes to talk about in terms of impeding or whatever.
Oh, damn!
Told that Sainz claimed his lap was deliberately spoiled, Ricciardo quipped, oh, he's going to get what he's given, but he started it. So there's like this implication that Daniel Ricciardo says, I try not to do that to people because I know that it's going to be done back to me.
Right, yeah.
And there's a bit of like, you do that to someone else, expect it being done back to you. And he's like, and he's also saying like, because we know who's behind us. We're aware of like, because they tell you like, oh, so-and-so's coming up.
Yeah.
So like, they know like, oh, should I fuck this guy's lap up or not?
Right.
So for Carlos Sainz to be like, I was fucked by traffic is completely disingenuous. And you know Daniel Ricciardo is like the least catty person of all time.
Right.
He even says later on, oh, I'm talking like a lot of shit right now. I shouldn't be doing that, but you asked me about
Right.
it. So it's like you're asking me about Carlos Sainz. Like, oh, Carlos Sainz, what do you think of Carlos Sainz being impeded? He's like, well, he impedes everybody else. So, like, of course he's going to get impeded back. Another point. Later on in the race, Carlos Sainz in Nowhereville.
Right.
Not completely his fault.
Yeah.
We'll get that could be another conversation. But they said, Carlos Sainz might, hold up Perez, might be a blocker, but he will never. But then I think it was Brundle or Crofty were like, but Ferrari said they would never ask him to do anything that would compromise himself in any way. He's just going to be driving for himself.
I know
he would never do anything for the team. And I'm like, yeah, why would Carlos Sainz ever want to do anything for anybody other than himself? That's such a crazy thing.
That's such a crazy thing to say, like, at this race, where it's like, okay, if there's ever a race to, like, play the team game, to get the most points for the team, it's this race, because you're trying, correct me if I'm wrong, you're trying to get second in the fucking championship, right?
Exactly.
Maybe I'm crazy, but aren't you trying to get second place? Isn't that what we were fucking going for? It was crazy when they said that today. They're like, no.
Either that's like really irresponsible reporting by Crofty or Brundle, or like that's just the truth.
Well,
it's just so stupid. Or Ferrari wants the wind tunnel time, but they don't care about the money because they're so rich.
Sure.
I'm really confused because it doesn't actually seem because then flip it. And who knew? Like, they're making this beautiful, simple child, this beautiful, precious baby angel's actually sitting there crunching the numbers in the cockpit.
Yeah, dude.
Breaking his goddamn beautiful brain, his beautiful, smooth brain, trying to do math.
Yeah.
This guy who looks, who might be really smart, but honestly, like, given how handsome he is, doesn't look it. Is like trying to do math.
Yeah.
He's like, well, if I give him the slipstream and he's letting Perez by. He's actually doing, because you know what it is everyone says how smart Carlos Sainz is, but it's only when it benefits him. Yeah. Charles Leclerc is actually banging his beautiful head against the wall, actually going from 2 brain cells to 3 to 4, actually becoming a genius before I'm like, oh my God, he's really, it was inspiring to watch. I was like, maybe I could have done math.
Yeah, right.
What? It was like, it was like watching a dog walking on its hind legs, watching him try to do.
Yeah. Like when I've my niece was in town for Thanksgiving, and I'm watching her put together words like red truck, and I'm like, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, Charles Leclerc because Charles Leclerc never does like calculations. Like, he's never jockeying with them over like, what's the strategy? Maybe we do this, but that's always what Carlos Sainz does. Then because all of a sudden Charles Leclerc's like, how many seconds is he behind? like, okay, maybe I can let him through. I can start to do, and because for one thing only, the benefit of the team. Maybe I can put this team on my entire gorgeous hairless back and carry us across the finish line to second place.
Carlos Sainz used none of his giant brain for the team.
Yeah.
Whereas Charles Leclerc used all 9 of his brain cells, and just all of a sudden became a genius.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that smart.
Yeah.
He gets not enough credit.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, that was,
and the Ferrari was like, I guess you could try.
Literally, the level, the level of indifference from the Ferrari pit wall as Charles was like pitching them this strategy made me so angry. They were like,
I'm like, he's literally driving 200 miles per hour, like coming up with these ideas while you guys are. He's doing your job better than you. How the fuck is this happening? And he looks as good as he does.
Yeah. And they're like, I guess you could do that. Like, I guess you could try to like get us second place. Then afterwards, when he does this, he lets Perez pass because Perez had the 5-second penalty, which we'll get into. Perez doesn't, it's like he's in second, but there's a 5-second penalty, so Charles actually gets second. Perez doesn't, Russell covers him. Perez gets 4th, Russell's in 3rd, so they lose the thing. And then afterwards, they're like, engine mode slow. And he's like, yo, shut the fuck up. Did we get second? Did it work or did it not work? And they're like, oh, sorry, P3 in the championship. And he's like, fuck, dude.
And, Brian, they didn't let him do donuts.
Yes.
And then he goes, what did he say? He has to do donuts, and they go, no, Charles, no donuts.
Yeah, straight to the pit.
And then he goes, even this, they won't.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he said, I do some burnouts. No burnouts, please. Straight to the grid. And he goes, not even this, for fuck's sake. Just let me have one thing. Can I have one thing?
I do. I love him. I love him so. He is a precious baby angel that needs to
protected
be
at all costs.
I love Europeans like him.
Yeah.
I do some burnouts. No burnouts. Straight to the grid.
Straight to your bed. No. No dessert. No dessert. You go straight to your room.
And then what did he say again? What did he say
again? He said, not even this, for fuck's sake. Which, like, here, listen, like, we'll give the, I hope, the only reason that I hope that they didn't do that is because maybe he's low on fuel, and they're like, there's a chance where they would be disqualified because if he did burnouts, they might, like, burn through that last bit of fuel. That's the hope.
Who cares? They've locked down 3rd.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess
they already blew 2nd. They've got nothing to have the points for.
Yeah. Also, let's not forget that Charles Leclerc had his, underfloor. He was disqualified from that race. That was in the DNFs when he was on the podium and he got his fucking the plank. Let's not forget that as well.
Disqualified.
Yeah, DQ'd.
I do burn.
I do burn.
No burn.
Yeah, it's like he should have just done. It's like ask forgiveness, not permission, babe. Like just do it.
Well, he kind of did it declaratively. I do burnouts.
I know, but there's even still like a level where he's like, I do burnouts, right? No Charles, come back to the pits.
I think Mick Schumacher did a burnout, or like what the fuck.
I have to think that it's only because of the fucking, because of the fuel levels. That's the only reason. But I could just see them being like, that's not what we do at Ferrari. Seb did it all those years ago when Fernando retired, and we did not like that. This was not good.
They do have. It is interesting the image that they're trying to. Because I gotta say, I really fuck with the Ferrari celebrity.
What do you mean?
Like you could like when Mercedes have celebrities, they always suck.
Okay.
Like it's always like the most like, yup. most basic.
Right. It's central casting.
Let's have the King of England, or Prince William, or whoever.
It's it's Tom Cruise. It's it's the people at the peak of the thing.
No, it's like the Marvel type,
right?
Like A-list,
right?
Like down the middle.
Yes.
And Ferrari always has like people who fuck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Ferrari has Ferrari has Adam Driver and Rihanna, dude. Like, I mean,
exactly. Like people who like you could tell like smell of sex.
Right. Mercedes has Tom Cruise and Prince Harry.
Yes.
You know?
No, they just had They had both Hemsworth in there.
Right.
Like, you had to have both
who
of them
are like
in there.
Who are like hot but like sexless, and they're kind of. It's like men want to fuck Chris Hemsworth as much, if not more, than women want to fuck Chris Hemsworth. You know what I'm saying?
They're like a hot and like a corporate safe way.
Men don't find Adam Driver attractive, but women are fucking obsessed. You know?
Exactly.
But like every dude is like, yeah, Chris Hemsworth is so fucking hot, because it's like obvious, because it's like a baby being like good looking, but it's not. It doesn't. You don't get beneath the surface. You're right. Ferrari does kind of. They do that.
And also, who had Naomi? Who is Naomi Campbell a guest of?
I think Lewis. Because I'm not sure. I don't know who the people are guests of. There's a picture of Naomi Campbell talking to Lewis, and like a strand of her hair is like in Lewis's beard and like kind of cuts across the frame. And I was like, I want to be like a little ant and tight walk around. Naomi Campbell's hair is trapped in Lewis's beard. Holy shit, dude. Fuck, man. Yeah, that was beautiful. I watched the race a little bit delayed, and I saw like the text thread pop in, and I just saw like Ferrari does it again. Like, what's fucking Charles? And I was expecting like a DNF or some type of thing. I was not expecting Charles to be like, no, let me save you from yourself. I mean, Charles attempting to...
No, Charles has been taking, like, the Limitless pills or something. Or Or taking fish supplements or whatever the fuck.
Right.
He's been working out his brain, because he's been seeing what Carlos Sainz has had to do, and he's like, shit, I need to, like, go back to school. I need a Billy Madison this thing. Go back to school.
Maybe it'll make him stronger in the longer, because that doesn't kill you. That makes you stronger. But Charles attempting to do that today. Charles attempting to save Ferrari's season today by putting them on their back is like the definition of like, I can fix her energy.
Yeah, I think that's maybe the difference, is that like Charles Leclerc still has this weird like sense of hope.
Yeah.
Whereas Carlos Sainz is like maybe clocking in and clocking out.
Carlos Sainz is like, I'm just trying to like get my bag and get the fuck out of here. And and Charles Leclerc is like, no, the brilliance of Ferrari, it would mean so much to have a P2 for Ferrari. Like he's still holding on, like he's Jamie Foxx in Collateral when he's got the fucking like the beach in his he's got the picture of paradise in his fucking shitty cab, and he's like, one day, baby, one day. And it's like a picture of fucking Niki Lauda holding up the trophy in 1970 whatever when he fucking won. It's like, that's Charles Leclerc is still hoping for that thing. He still has that hope, and today he was trying to muster up all of his strength to pull Ferrari off of the cliff that they're like dangling from. And then they said, like Scar, just fucking like, no, God, and into the stampede Ferrari goes.
Dude, I saw this TikTok about like incels,
Yeah.
And like their faces were blurred out.
I
like,
saw this too. A
woman came to like talk. They were in Australia.
Yeah.
Did you see this clip?
I did.
And they like, they weren't like, they look like normal guys.
Right.
You know? And like they were like normally built guys.
Yeah.
You know, like
nothing
they weren't
specifically
like, nothing deformed about them. You know what I mean? And you kind of tell what their faces. They didn't look like the Elephant Man. Okay,
sure.
They were just normal guys.
Yeah.
And they were like, "What's up, female?" And like they were like degrading her and like talking all this shit.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how they're incels. I was like, at this point, it doesn't even seem involuntary. It seems like self-sabotage.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen some things about incels, and you look at some of these guys, I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe it would be tough to meet a woman. But, like, But the way they're behaving, I'm like, no, this is self-sabotage.
Yeah.
This is extreme avoidance and fear of rejection. And you're gonna say, fuck you, I quit before you're fired.
Right. Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, that's an oversimplification of incels, but just from what I was seeing from a lot of these guys.
Well, sure, yeah.
And I'm like, that's Ferrari. It's like you're not even trying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're self-sabotaging, and Ferrari and Charles is going over to the incels of Ferrari and be like, no, we can fuck.
Right.
And they're like, nah. No, we can't.
Right. Yeah, they don't want us. They don't want us. Second place doesn't want us.
They're those Red Bulls are a bunch of Chads anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was like me.
No.
I remember in middle school when we were in the basketball, we were on JV and I was on the bench, and then at the end of the game I'd go in and we'd be down by 30, and then I'd come in and I'd just start playing really hard. And I used to get so mad. I'm like, come on, guys. We can still do it. And then I was like, and everyone's like, dude, we're down by fucking 40. What are you doing? That was kind of Charles Leclerc today.
Yeah.
But today with Charles Leclerc was we're literally we could literally do this. They still said no. Okay, anyway, we've made our point.
No, but and then, I mean, not to, while we're on it, though,
yes.
The other hilarious point was, they hung out Carlos Sainz to dry as well.
Yeah.
I can't believe they said this part out loud. Carlos Sainz was like, man, I'm not really getting this strategy. And they literally said, stay out for as long as we can. Wait for safety car.
I know.
I can't believe they said that out loud.
I know.
I've never heard that said on a radio.
Yeah, they said the quiet part out loud.
I'm holding out for a hero.
Literally.
We're praying for a miracle.
Yeah.
We're praying for a miracle is what we're I can't
right.
Crazy to admit that. Anyway.
Yeah,
we gamble.
Yeah, we gamble. Everyone we gamble. We do. Yeah, because they brought him in because they put him on the double hards. And they just kept him out. So why he was a DNF today was because they were going to put him on the soft tires with the last lap to go, and they were just no, fuck, yeah, we don't care. Yeah, I mean Ferrari,
all right,
a fucking shit show, classic, beautiful. You know, it wasn't a shit show. Yuki motherfucking Tsunoda, dude. Our fucking God. Dude, our best friend Yuki Tsunoda. I don't know if you saw the clip. People are loving it. People said they never seen Yuki seem so happy in an interview, and I have to agree because he's our boy. He's our fucking guy. So is Daniel, but Yuki is our fucking guy. And this weekend was an amazing one for Mr. Tsunoda.
It was a exclamation point.
Yes.
At the end of a dominant, historic season for him.
Yeah.
And
there's a bunch of people who think that Yuki Tsunoda does not belong in Formula One. A bunch of people that think that. Yeah, we went out on a little bit of a limb and we said that he should get the Red Bull seat, but he's had an undeniably great year.
They threw Nick DeVries at him. Think about all the people they threw at him to try to kill him.
Yes. That's right. That's right.
They threw Nick DeVries at him.
Yeah. Most experienced rookie in F1 history. How does this guy not have a seat?
Who wasn't even a rookie by his own admission.
Right.
Right. Guy was a guy.
I'm not your average rookie.
Guy said he wouldn't be taking pointers from Yuki.
Yeah, I'm not going to take pointers from that Yuki kid. Have you seen my abs? I'm Nick DeVries. I'm grew up, and I know Max Verstappen. We grew up and raced against each other when we were kids. I'm not taking advice from Yuki. Yeah. What happens? DeVries can't fucking put one foot in front of the other. Yuki fucking dominates him. Everyone's like, oh, well, fuck that. DeVries is just, and he sucks. So that doesn't actually say anything about Yuki's skills. What do?
Yes.
They throw Daniel motherfucking multi-race winner Ricciardo in that seat. First race, Daniel outperforms Yuki. Everyone's like, uh-oh, Bring out you know what? Yuki had a nice run, but I guess it's over. No, they fucking trade. Yuki steps up to the plate. They have a fucking newfound respect for each other. They're amazing on camera together. They're going to be the best. They're going to be one of the best teams on the grid next year. I'm calling it now.
No, and then they bring in Liam Lawson. Everyone's talking about how great Liam Lawson.
Well, yeah,
where's the respect?
Yeah, then Daniel Ricciardo breaks his metacarpal. I broke my metatarsal, and that way we're fucking won.
Yeah, you guys literally connected over that.
Yeah, Liam Lawson comes in. Has a good performance. Everyone's like, yeah, guess Yuki's not that bitch. No. Slow the fuck down.
Yeah, everyone's loving the new shiny thing. Wherever you go. But you got to remember, it's like sometimes the best things are right in front of you.
Yeah.
And their names are Yuki fucking Tsunoda.
Yeah.
And they like mochi ice cream.
Yeah.
And brisket.
Yeah.
And saying fuck all the time.
And not having pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, not having hot pineapple on pizza. And they're both wholesome and R-rated.
Yes.
At the same time, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and for Franz Tost's final race, he gave him a nice tribute before the race. You know, Franz Tost has been an important person for Yuki. And, people were talking about how it must have been, they kept Yuki out, I think they probably kept him out a little bit because they're like, hey, you might lead this race. That'd be nice for Franz to have, for Yuki to have. When Yuki Tsunoda took
my God. When he was leading that race, I was like, I don't care how many engines need to explode.
Yeah.
And how many races need to get ruined.
Yeah.
Please, safety car, red flag.
Yeah.
Nobody gets hurt, but I need some carnage.
Yeah. Stop the count.
To get this boy.
Yuki Tsunoda was in first, and I was on my Trump shit. I was like, stop the count. Okay, that's enough. We actually don't need the mail-in ballots. We don't need them, okay? Stop them right now. I think the race should be over. That's what it should be. Think we have a rightful winner? Yeah. I just need you to find me 43 laps. He also got driver of the day, as he should. Yuki Tsunoda ending the year.
Fucking century, dude.
Yeah. Ending the year with how many motherfucking points did this guy get? Hold on. Standings.
Met his hero, Jason Statham.
Yeah, he met Jason Statham, who he said is who he wants him to play him in the movie. They looked like they fucking loved each other. Yuki Tsunoda was 17 points, dude. 10 behind Alex Albon, who everyone's sucking his dick this year, saying Albon's established himself as like he's that top guy. Me included. I've had some Albon fucking balls in my mouth, and I like him there. But Yuki Tsunoda, 10 points behind him in an arguably worse car. Come on.
No, in the worst car on the grid.
Yes.
In the the car has come alive.
Yes. Last couple
recently,
weeks. Yeah.
But in the beginning of the year, it was the worst car on the grid.
Yep.
Yeah. Yuki Tsunoda.
Yeah.
What that was we were bullish on Yuki Tsunoda, bullish on Charles Leclerc. Anti-Mercedes, which I think is coming to beautiful fruition.
Yeah.
I
mean, they're a mess, dude.
Else?
Mercedes is a mess. I mean, they got lucky today. They got lucky today with Russell, honestly.
Because of the Perez thing.
Because Lando had that shitty pit stop, so he got track position on Lando. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like a few,
Yeah, I mean, and actually, McLaren's low-key had like the best pit stops this season.
Right.
They've been having they had like a few sub-tours.
Yeah, they had a 1.7, I think, which is like the fastest ever.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. So, and Lewis was like nowhere with the car. Russell.
Toto goes on the radio like a putz.
Yeah, dude.
Like an absolute putz. How do we feel when he goes, Lewis, you're the second fastest driver out there?
I hate when Toto comes in with that. It's like
First of all, no, he's not. No, he's not.
Right, yeah, you're lying. Last week he said he was like,
George, you could get fourth.
George, fourth.
You could get fourth. It's like he's got a 5-second penalty. You literally see him get fourth and then bang, down to eighth. Like it was instant.
Right.
It was ping pong. Bang, like bing bong.
But he thinks because there's this vibe where he's like, where he's like,
Bono, hold on, I got
literally,
this.
he's like, if they just hear my voice, they'll bring it to another level. It's like giving kind of like cult leader. It's just like, no.
That's what I've been saying for the longest time. It's giving twin flames. It's giving
It's giving him coming on the thing and going, Lewis, you are a divine masculine. Believe me. Lewis, believe me.
Lewis, go out there and showing your divine masculine.
George, you are divine feminine. Believe me, George. Your name is Stacy. Believe me, George. Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, McLaren just to me, I'm like, if anyone's making and we're gonna have an episode where we're gonna summarize the whole season, talk about the whole thing, but like if anyone's making a move on Red Bull next year, it's McLaren.
I don't know, customer team. Are we confident that a customer team can do it?
I kind of am.
I think Red Bull's just gonna fuck everyone.
Well, I think that too, but who's gonna at least who's gonna be the only people kind of maybe challenging for wins? I think it's
Mercedes seems fucking incompetent.
They don't understand the car. They're always like, we don't know why this is happening. Even when McLaren's like not there, they're like, we're just not there. This isn't our track. This isn't a track that's for our car. There's an understanding
you're right.
of the car that they have. Mercedes feels like we don't know what's wrong. Like
it's like they're like a broken clock is right 8 times a day.
Yeah.
And then they're wrong 4 times, and then when they're wrong, they don't know why they're wrong. It's just random. Like they'll show up to Brazil and they'll win,
right?
And they'll take, and they don't know why,
right?
You're And I think, and it's interesting because they came in second. Lewis actually, if you get rid of the Red Bull,
yes,
you just take Red Bulls out of it. Lewis is the world drivers champion,
right?
So he beat Leclerc.
Yeah.
But they had no. But they did their season kind of just. They never had the best car.
Yes, right. Because in the beginning of the season,
it would have been such a weird it would have been such a weird drivers championship because in the beginning of the season you would have thought Alonso would have been the champion.
Of the non-Red Bull champion, yes.
I'm saying if you take them out,
yes.
You would have thought that Alonso would have been the world drivers champion.
Yeah.
Then you would have been like, oh my God, Lando could be.
Right.
But at no point were you ever thinking, oh my God, Lewis is dominating.
Yeah, there was like a couple races in the middle there where the it was like, but it was that's what it was. At no point was Mercedes the clear second best team. Which actually speaks to fucking how great of a season Lewis had. Because, like, in the beginning it was Aston Martin. At the end it was McLaren. In a little bit of there was a little bit of Ferrari.
And then sometimes it was Ferrari that would
exactly.
It was never Mercedes.
It was never really Mercedes. And Lewis still, like, honestly, and without a couple of bad, with the plank thing, with a couple of bad turns, Lewis, would have been there. Lewis would have been in second, potentially.
Oh, yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Sergio wound up winning but it was like, by that point, by the end, he wasn't really fighting for that second place once that was, like, sealed. But, Austin kind of, made that clear that he wasn't going to get second.
Right. No, it's, Mercedes, we've been saying it, man. I just don't think that Mercedes has a leadership. And I don't know if Ferrari has the corporate structure.
Right.
There's some sort of rot going on there. Yeah. And I'm interested because the McLaren, they just signed, like, they're signed on for, like, with
Merck for another 5 years.
For another couple. Yeah, I'm wondering why they weren't more keen on trying to get with Honda or something like that.
I kind of feel like the power unit feels like it's less of a factor now. I kind of feel like the power unit was such a big factor in the last reg, and it feels like it's all about the aero now. Because it's never really like, oh well, that engine is just so much better. It's all about it's all about the tires. It's all about the ground effects. It's all about aero. So I feel like it's
no, but you're right. You're right. But in those margins is like how that engine
it's a heavy engine.
Implemented.
I think it's a heavier engine than the Honda engine. I think the Honda engine is light, tiny.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But also, I think you're as a customer team, you're never going to be as good at fitting the engine into your system. Like it's always going to be not a square peg in a round hole. Do you know what I mean? But just a slightly more awkward fit.
I mean, they have a better fucking fit than Mercedes does. So I feel like
no, but I'm saying is your ceiling is always higher.
I get that, but I feel like the jump that they made this year. I feel like McLaren's done so much right that I'm like right now I'm just like I'm trusting the process. I'm like they were nowhere in the beginning of the season. Well, they were nowhere in the beginning of the season. Look where they are now.
You're Delulu land.
Well, I'm not Delulu Lando. Lando's got the fucking stuff, despite what he did in the fucking in the golf tournament, which we did an episode of that is on the Patreon. We talked about the Netflix Cup. So go to patreon.com/TRFpod.
And he did it again this weekend.
No, I take that quali fuck up as like Lando trying to put the entire. I view that in a kind of Charles Leclerc kind of way, where he was just trying to make the car do something that the car was incapable of doing. That's how I viewed his fuck up in quali.
Yeah, but it happens all the time.
Not really.
He's made multiple mistakes in qualifying this year. He's had to make up for poor. He's not qualified where he should have qualified multiple times.
He's a pretty good qualifier. I wouldn't say that qualifying is his like weak point. I'm not saying he's a bad qualifier. I'm saying he makes mistakes in qualifying sometimes and has to come forward from those sometimes. Yeah, I guess.
I'm saying is like I don't know. Oscar Piastri's outqualified him like maybe 4 or 5 times, and maybe
a few of those times it was Lando did he fucked something up.
Yeah.
Wait, we were talking about
and then he's got to be like, "Excuse me, sorry about that, Oscar. Thanks for
thank you very much."
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Actually, that's my place that you're in, so I'll be taking that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for holding that seat for me. I'm sorry.
Wait, we were talking about Merc and how they don't know where they're at. Well, that's why Lewis Hamilton's trying to go to Red Bull, bro.
Yeah.
I mean.
What a weird game of roster.
Yeah. What a way to start the last week of Formula One.
Yeah.
Christian Horner just coming out of left field. When someone you have that friend who just like drops something in the group chat and everyone's just like, wait, what? Christian Horner coming out of left field being like, oh yeah. Yeah, Lewis's team called me up a couple times this year, trying to get on the Red Bull train, but you know what I always say, as much as we'd love to have him, just he and Max, it just wouldn't work out, It's just, as much as Lewis's team was begging, let's be clear, that's what was happening.
I was like, Anthony, pick yourself up off the floor. It's degrading. It's pathetic.
Well, then they like ask Lewis, and Lewis is like, yeah, I have no idea what he's talking about. I've talked to him. To be clear, I haven't spoken to Christian in years.
I haven't spoken to Christian in years.
And no one from my team has spoken to Christian. Also, to be clear, I mean, he called me. He wanted to talk to me earlier this year. He tried to arrange a time. And then
someone in this, you're watching something, you're like, someone in this fucking story is a dirty, lying, goddamn rat.
Right. You're like, one of you.
No, I bet you Lewis, it's true. Lewis has probably not talked to Christian in years.
Right. But that doesn't mean that no one from his team has.
And he says, maybe no one from his team has talked to Christian.
Right.
But I dude, come on. Anthony Hamilton.
I could see Anthony.
What we know about Anthony. I am.
Yeah, because
I'm close to positive Anthony Hamilton texted Christian Horner.
Yeah.
Anthony, I mean, we've done our research on the man. The guy is a fucking hustler.
Yes.
The guy probably has a hard time sitting there on his hands doing nothing. He's not going to shoot it. Hey, what's the Red Bull situation?
Right.
That's just due diligence. Is Max retiring? What's Checo's situation looking like?
Right.
Okay, is Max going to go be a sim driver?
Yeah.
You know? For 5 years?
And then they were probably like at dinner and Anthony was like, so I texted Christian and Lewis is like, Dad, what the fuck, dude? Dad, why? Oh, God, Dad. What? You're not my manager anymore, dude. Like, oh, God, this is why I had to fire you, bro.
No, but come on. Because, oh, my God. If Max retired.
Yeah.
If Max was like, fuck this.
Yeah, of course. Sure.
I'm going to go drive simulators.
Yeah.
For the rest of my life.
Right.
The call comes in. It's Christian Horner.
Yeah.
You're Lewis Hamilton. It's Christian Horner. I want you to come drive for Red Bull. Lewis is breaking his contract with Mercedes. 1,000,000%, right?
And Monster Energy. Let's not forget that his Lewis's main sponsor is Red Bull's like main competitor in the space. So he's
going to Niki Lauda's grave. He's saying, "Sorry, Niki."
Yeah, Niki.
But the car's a pig.
Yeah.
You've seen it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Niki, this is not the car that you made. This is not the company that you helped build. It's lost its identity. Yeah, I think he probably goes, but I don't think that's I think that Anthony Hamilton was more. I don't think he's like, is Max retiring? That's not really on the fucking plate. It's like, yo, Checo's stinking it up. How do you feel about letting the boys duke it out? Let's do
this. Do you think Anthony Hamilton actually thinks that the two of them could coexist?
No, he doesn't want them to coexist. He wants them. He's like, let Lewis show up Max once and for all. Anthony Hamilton's not like coming. If what happened was Anthony Hamilton went rogue and texted Christian and made these inquiries without like Lewis's knowledge, that's the story. Anthony kind of was like, has his own relationship with Christian. He has his number. He reached out, in a slight way.
They might have sent a few memes about other things, and then that.
Right. They probably sent him a couple of our clips. He was like, check out these guys. They're hilarious. But like Anthony Hamilton's not doing this from the like, let's have them coexist. It could be great. It's like he is still like, no. Everyone's saying that Max Verstappen's the guy, and like, no. My son is the guy. So let's put them in the same car. Let's let the fucking boys play, and let's see who fucking takes this once and for all. And he probably was like, come on, what, you scared? What, you scared that Lewis is going to beat Max? Like, it's that energy. It's like aggro dad energy. My dad could beat your dad, but make it about sons.
Yeah, I just don't think that would end well for Lewis.
I would love to fucking see it, man.
Of course, I'd love to see it too. I just don't think. I know everyone's gonna riot when they hear this, but I just don't. I just see Lewis just makes more mistakes than at this age.
Yeah,
I think the highs are still there. Like, I think Lewis on, like, when Lewis is in his fucking stint, like stretching out the life of a tire, he's still the master. But, like, in terms of, like, just being a fucking robot, like, Max won 18, how many races did he win this year?
Max is a robot this year because no one's challenging him. I could see, like, if Lewis got, like, listen, I'm not saying that, like, it's for sure on the other way, but, like, part of Max's robotness this year and his domination is the fact that, like, he's been able to be a robot. Nobody
talks about the mistakes Lewis made in 2021, how he went off and he made mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, he caught, like, he left some points on the table.
Did I leave the magic on? But he also fucking took it to Max and he also took it to Max. He got in his head. The Silverstone was obviously controversial, but, like, he fucked with Max. He rustled Max's feathers.
I'm not saying he's not like maybe the second best driver on the grid.
I'm just saying.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. But what I'm saying is that
he fucking rear-ended Gasly today.
Well, Gasly locked up and came in slow, and there was.
So he's got to steam into the back of him. I'm not sure about that. I don't know.
I don't see that as like Lewis is like a huge fuck up of Lewis. He's following him, and Gasly locks up, and then he's like barely runs into the rear end of him, and that didn't matter anyway because he still had pace even with the broken wing.
Which adds to our theory.
Which we'll get to, but yeah, to me. I could see Lewis putting together like his Nico Rosberg, one final season. Because also part of the thing with when the year that Max took in 2021 is that Lewis had come off. Lewis was like unrefined. He had 7 years of fucking domination and was like, and then all of a sudden is being challenged. He's like, oh fuck, like I'm in the new arena. You can get stale when you're at the top. Not if your name is Max Verstappen because you always fucking stay fighting ready, but.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be a bad.
I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Max is taking that season. I think Max has the edge, but I could see Lewis pulling off a miracle.
Let me put it okay, you're betting your life.
Yeah, sure. If I'm betting my life, I'm probably betting on Max. But like, right? But
why? But why?
Max is younger. Max knows the car better, and. That's yeah, because Max is younger and he knows the car better.
Let's just let's have fun with this. Let's forget about that. Let's just put them.
Yeah.
Let's put them in the fastest car has nothing to do with team.
Yes.
You and I are building a car.
Yes.
We're geniuses. We've had a podcast for 2.5 years. We figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
Red Flags podcast builds the fastest car.
Yeah.
We put Max and Lewis in.
Yeah.
I think it's and that's the fastest car on the grid and they're driving it. I think
like equal strategy teams.
Everything's equal. Well, no, I think it's the same. If you're in the lead, then you get preferential treatment, right? Like if you're like leading the race, then you get the preferential strategy for like if you qualify ahead, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like how it was supposed to go for Gasly, and he was, irate.
Yeah.
I think Lewis is a great driver. I just think that Max, he leaves no fucking crumbs, dude. I'm like,
yeah,
he never leaves any crumbs, and that's what's tough.
I don't know. I think in that and taking age out of the equation, I'm back.
If we're taking age out of the equation.
I thought that's what you were doing.
I mean right now.
Yeah.
I meant right now.
I don't know, dude. I don't think it's that much of a foregone conclusion. I think it's like maybe 60-40 Max's way to me. And any given Sunday.
Like if you did 100 seasons.
Yes.
Max wins 60 times.
Yeah, you run 10 seasons, Max wins 6 of them, Lewis wins 4. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, so on the one, there's a chance that in that one season, it's Lewis.
Oh, for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
For sure, but if you're Anthony Hamilton, do you want to take that? If you're Lewis Hamilton, do you want to take that risk?
Well, Anthony Hamilton does because he's a fucking dad who's like doesn't think of it as 60-40. Anthony Hamilton's opinion is that it's not 60-40. It's a fucking 100% that if my son gets in there, he's beating this fucking Dutch kid.
Because he's bet. You know why? Because he bet his life on his son.
Yeah, and it's turned out fucking very well.
It's turned out very.
Anyway,
he looked at his 5-year-old son or however old he was. And was like, "I'm betting my life on you."
Yeah.
And it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out
fucking incredible.
Very fucking well.
It's fucking incredible. No, Lewis has had a low-key great season. George had his number today, but I don't know what happened with Lewis this race. He wasn't. He lost.
He's kind of checked out. I think it's like he's not fighting for second in the fucking Checo beat him out for that, so I feel like he's kind of checked out.
You don't think he didn't seem to care about the championship.
He doesn't care about that. He didn't care about the championship. He doesn't care about that.
Okay. George fucking cared.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So
once again, the content king.
George Russell gives. He gives us the best fucking source material. These tires feel reasonable. Are you sure you want to bring me in these tires? They feel reasonable.
Reasonable.
I was like, what?
I literally wrote that down.
But these tires are feeling reasonable.
He's literally like me, like on the couch talking to you. What's up, playa?
Yeah.
Like it's like just making funny noises.
Yeah, right.
Tires feel reasonable.
Tires are reasonable. You really calling me in now? Okay, well, the tires feel reasonable. I was like, yes, George.
I could dabble with a little one stop. I could dabble.
And then later he's like, so how's Lewis doing? And they're like, and then Mercedes gives like the most annoying. I hate when they just don't give them the fucking information.
Corporate. Yeah, well, it's a little demeaning. It's a little page like it's like you can't handle the information.
And it's like we experience this like when your agent isn't telling you about a rejection. Like if you've like sent out a thing and you're waiting for like to hear if you've gotten a yes or a no, and they just like they don't tell you about the no's because they think they want to protect your feelings. It's like, no, dude, just tell me what the fuck it is. I can handle it. Yeah, so we asked like what's Lewis doing, and they're like, oh, Lewis he's in his own race, really.
We all have our own race in life.
Yeah, literally.
Like,
they're giving like this existential answer to George's question. Lewis, he's just a man on a journey just like we all are. We're just, we only have so much time on this earth, and some people, they're a leaf on your tree for the whole time.
So many laps in this life, and it's not how fast you do the laps.
Yeah.
It's about the journey on.
Yeah, some people in your life for a season and some for a lifetime. You got to let them go when they're only there for a season, George? And he's like, yo, shut the fuck up. I'm talking about the championship that we're trying to win. Does no one care?
Yeah, it was the same thing. It's the same. I'm like, wait a minute. Do you have equity in Mercedes, George? Oh wait, that's Toto. Why do these guys care more? Because they're competitors.
And because I feel like the reality of what the bosses want is they're like, well, actually, we have the money. We'll take the wind tunnel time. You know what I mean? They're like, we could actually use the wind tunnel time, so maybe tank this, boys. Like, we actually don't need it.
Or they know George, and George, they don't want George risking more than. Anytime George tries to do too much, Lewis can handle multiple things.
Yeah.
George, just keep your eyes on the fucking road, okay? guy outperforms Lewis in one race, and all of a sudden thinks he's fucking hot shit.
It's like, I know he's running his own race. I know he's way behind me, but, like, is he scoring points, or do I need to do this shit all on my own?
I'm concerned for my slower friend, Lewis.
Yeah. People were pointing out that this is the last race where we'll see the pose.
The pose?
That the pose... Well, he'll cook...
I'm excited to see what he gives us. I'm sure he'll give us something amazing next season.
I'm sure he'll cook something good for us next season. Maybe he'll do the repeat of the...
They'll look back at it.
Oh.
I'm sure it'll be incredible. I am not worried at all. I have nothing but faith in George's abilities. Yeah, well, they wouldn't be in that tight a spot if you didn't have a fucking aneurysm anytime, like over like where Lewis was on the track all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, that is his problem. Is every race he's like, where Lewis at?
Yeah.
Where Lewis at? That is his problem.
Yeah, he's seeing ghosts. He's seeing ghosts.
They're usually in front of him.
Right.
Or coming up behind him real fast.
Yeah.
God, I love him so much. He's my favorite.
Should we get into the our awards?
Oh, sure. We've been we've been kind of dabbling for like an hour.
Yeah, we've been cooking, baby.
We've been cooking. I can keep. Anything else? Wait, hold on. Before I get to awards, I think we should do a Precious Baby Angel Award.
Ooh.
We should. By the end of this, by the time this podcast retires, I think we're gonna have 900 awards.
Well, we might have to get rid of some. We can maybe get rid of we can maybe get rid of Karen, because Red Flag is usually like Karen and Red Flag are usually kind of, there's overlap there.
Fuck you, dude. Okay.
Well, if we have too many,
okay.
we gotta. Hey, sometimes you gotta kill your darlings. Let us know. DM us which awards you think we should get rid of. Okay. Daddy of the day.
All right.
Daddy of the day.
Daddy of the day. Let me check notes.
I mean, a bunch of people are saying Yuki.
It's weird talking about like a friend that way, you know?
Right. It's like Yuki's a friend. And yeah, he might
peer.
be a daddy to you, but he's just our friend.
He's just our friend.
He's just our friend now.
I'll go Yuki, Daddy.
You go Yuki. I'll say Charles Leclerc is mommy of the day, long-suffering mother of the day. Just I try, I cook the whole fucking meal. Charles was giving mother on Thanksgiving, trying to make a nice meal happen and then the shithead kids are running all through it and knock over the fucking stuffing. And I'm just trying to have a nice Thanksgiving.
On their iPads, just make no appreciation.
Yeah, like everyone's putting that scene from The Bear where he's like, "Get the fuck off my expo now!" And it's like moms on Thanksgiving, 4 p.m. on Thanksgiving. That was Charles Leclerc, long-suffering mother of Ferrari. Yeah, that's mommy of the day for Charles. Hottest moment of the day.
You know what killed Charles to let Max he did not give Max the full business in the beginning too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that battle. I was gonna say
that battle was amazing.
That battle in the beginning, that opening battle with Charles and Max, probably maybe hottest moment of the day. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but Max has just been pushing Charles you're not gonna crash into me.
I know.
You got what is it, second or third you want to get in the constructors?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
You're
gonna let me through.
Right.
Well, I mean, we could crash. I won 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So.
Right. I know.
He's got infinite lives.
I know. He's in his head.
Charles is fuck. No, Charles is I got to think about the third and the constructor. So we're second. So he's giving him. He's not full inch.
Because they go against each other. They never crash though.
I think they would crash in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, they just there hasn't been a real elbows back out moment from Charles. There's been
No, Charles.
It's no, I'll take us. George Russell's proven that he'll fucking ruin your race. He'll torpedo himself into you.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Lewis
care.
Has proven that.
Charles
Max has proven that. Charles doesn't. That's not necessary. That's not really his game. So that battle of inches, that battle of we're locked in, in Fast and the Furious where they just drive straight ahead at each other and who's gonna back off first. Max wins that. No, battle.
I think he can get George Russell. I think he gets crashy sometimes. Remember in Australia or some of these races, he'll just crash immediately because he's fuck.
Well, he'll crash he'll self-inflict crash, but he won't crash no, that's my corner. Turn into me, bitch. That's what I'm saying.
I don't. Yeah, he's aggressive though. I would say.
I think he is aggressive, but he hasn't. I haven't. I know he's aggressive, but he fights. You gotta kind of fight a little dirty with Max Verstappen. Max fights dirty.
No, you have to.
You gotta get a nut shot in there. No,
you have to. You have to. I'm waiting for someone to just be I guess we're crashing then.
Right. Well, that's kind of what Lewis did in 2021.
One time.
And it was a bad one, but that was a little bit of Lewis was saying, "No, this is my fucking this is my fucking corner. You're going to have to turn into me." And then he did.
After letting Max push him around a couple of times.
But that's
and then he was finally "Okay, you shall not pass."
Right. And that's I'm still waiting for that moment with Charles and Max. Anyway. And I thought maybe it was going to happen today, but it didn't. But that fight was still sexy. You know what's my did you catch this moment with Pato Award? Well, shout out to friend of the pod, Pato Award, who got his super license points up in IndyCar this year. So he's going to be the McLaren reserve driver next year. And at one point during the race, they like cut to him, and he knew the camera was on him because as we know, because when we were in the Red Bull garage, you can it's on a delay, but the camera's there, so he's like aware that the camera's there. And then it's on him, and then he's like he gives this like cheeky smirk, and he was about to like turn his head and give a wink, but before he could do it, they cut away.
Yeah, no, it was so brutal. It's so brutal. It's like watching your favorite star on like some little TV show like get like a bit part in a movie.
Yeah.
In like a big Hollywood movie.
Right.
And it's like and you're like, "Oh, it's this person who's like everything in this little TV show."
Yeah.
And they're completely nothing. They're getting the coffee for the guy.
Right.
And you're like, oh my God, there's levels to this shit.
Right.
Like he thought he could do his cute paddle thing, and it's like nobody gives.
Yeah,
a
it's
shit
like gotta be quicker. This is in Formula One, dude. The cornering speed. It's all about
Maybe if you were Mick Schumacher,
right,
we'd give you a little bit more time.
He thought
like it's brutal.
Paddle did think he ate with that, but there were crumbs everywhere. Crumbs everywhere, dude.
Dude, you got more fucking time on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brutal. Like when you see like I don't know what's a good example. Like you'll see like John Hamm and something like, and you're like, damn, like that's mad, man.
Well, he's a bigger star. I think it's more like when Lena Dunham was in Lena Dunham was in the fucking
Tarantino movie.
The Tarantino movie.
Yeah,
It's like one of the 7 girls.
Yes.
Or a moment like that, or like it's always in like a thing like that where you're like, oh, and then you're like, wait, what? That's you're only in.
Exactly.
Like you're my favorite. I feel like Dunkirk had like all these like Chris Nolan movies has all these like you know Harry Styles in Dunkirk kind of thing.
Yeah, or it's like, oh, it's this person, and you're like, oh, you ain't shit in this one.
Yeah.
You are nothing. Hottest moment of the day. Yeah, probably the battle with when Leclerc got the jump, and I was like almost excited for this race to be good.
Yeah. Karen of the day.
I mean, I don't know if I have one. I mean, I just kind of want to give it to Toto just because fuck him, dude. With his fucking stupid affirmations.
Right.
Like he's like hitting Toto. They're in a tough like who's gonna affirm who with the positivity, Lewis and Toto.
Remember your transcendental meditation, Lewis.
And what's brutal is like Lewis, like Lewis like has to accept the positivity even though you could tell he didn't want to because he was
right.
He was like, thanks, Toto.
Yeah, thanks, Toto.
But you could tell he was like, shut up. And he's like, you're the fastest man on track, fastest person on track. I'm like, that cannot be true. There's no way that's true. It's like, that's actually called a limiting belief.
Right,
maybe you should do a mirror exercise around that.
Yeah.
Around why you don't think you're the fastest person on track.
There's this great podcast clip that maybe you've seen on TikTok of this comedian, actually, brother of Will Power, the IndyCar champion.
Yes.
What's his brother's name? I think it's Damien.
Damien Power. They both have
Damien Power, who's an Australian comedian. He has this amazing clip on fucking TikTok where he and his co-hosts are talking about how do you think that the members of the people who died during the Titanic wouldn't have died if they had just known about the Wim Hof method?
Yes.
If they had just focused on slow breathing, that they would have actually realized that they were healthier by being in the freezing cold water. and there was a point actually where they were healthier before they all froze to death. That's kind of Toto Wolff coded. Like, that's just kind of like, if you just mind over matter, like if you just believe, like anything is possible. It's like that that Key and Peele sketch where he was like, Anything is possible. I can fly. I can literally fly. It's
He's
a little
like,
bit.
kids, sneak out of your house.
You
Run
can
onto
fly.
the freeway.
Yeah. You can become a robot.
You will
It's
literally
just-
become a transformer.
It's giving Huberman, bro. It's giving 4 a.m. I wake up at 4 a.m. I meditate from 4:05 to 4:25. Then I take my ice bath, and then I manifest, and then I,
Well,
Yeah.
if it's not the finance stuff that he's probably
Right.
good at, and the management stuff that he's probably
Yeah.
good at,
Yeah.
what has he got other than his woo-woo bullshit? Nothing. But here's the thing. How many other team principals actually ever phone in? None of them feel the need to. It's also weird.
None of them do.
It's also weird. He's the only guy that insists on sitting in the garage and having a gaggle of followers around him. Have you ever noticed
He's not
that?
at the pit wall.
Yeah. He none of them ever he's like, I'm gonna have a crew of guys who are handsome and corporate, and they're gonna surround me. I'm gonna sit, and they're gonna stand,
and they're gonna watch me
they're
do
gonna
my thing.
They're gonna watch me. They're all gonna watch what I'm watching, and they're gonna and that's like a screenwriter's trick, right? You want to make an important guy important? Give him goons.
Right.
Surround him with goons. Don't put him by himself. Give him henchmen.
Right.
He gives himself. That's why he has Mick Schumacher, because he's like, you know, it'll be a great henchman for me.
Yeah,
Michael Schumacher's son, dude.
Yeah, the son of the goat. Yeah,
the son of the goat will be my bitch, dude.
Right now
He's
he gets
sitting
me
on my
coffee.
lap. Yeah, Nick DeVries used to be one of his little Malfoy's little crab and goyle bitches. So it's he's got the guys with the shirts, and they're always around him. Christian Horner never surrounded by anybody. You're is he lost? Every time I see him, I'm like, is he lost? Where is he? What's going on? He's always by himself. Have you noticed that?
Well, he watches the start from the garage, and then he moves over to the pit wall. But even when he's at the garage, he's standing there with his arms crossed,
by himself.
By himself, yeah.
Toto has his fucking entourage. He's the only
Dolo,
guy with an entourage.
Yeah, sure.
This might be the best point I've ever made. He's a cult leader. Toto is a cult leader, maybe. I think. I don't have any proof. Just his weird affirmations and his vibe, and he surrounds himself with guys who might be paid actors. I don't know. He's got one guy there that's pretty fucking handsome. I'm like, what do you do? Because if you're standing there, what are you doing?
Yeah, you got to be hot to be in Toto's crew. That's for sure.
Or Nick DeVries. Nick DeVries was telegenic, but also really short, so made him look really big.
Right, yeah.
Nick DeVries did, and Nick DeVries definitely drank the Kool-Aid, Nick DeVries, great company guy.
Mercedes man.
But I will say, I need to admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong about James Vowles. I need to probably take that back. They were dog shit last year, and they fought their way to 8th.
Yeah.
Or was it 7th? No, 7th.
Yeah.
They got
James
7th.
Vowles. Yeah. James Vowles has kind of I got out because it's whenever you watch one of these things about you watch the Scientology doc, in the first hour you're like, I'm kind of in, and then it turns.
They tell you all the amazing things about it, and you're like, where can I sign up?
You're hearing about it, and you're like, wow, that's actually makes because
I work through my trauma and I get Hollywood connections.
Exactly,
done.
And at the root of the thing is something worth. People wouldn't flock to it if there wasn't something of value in there. But they lure you in with the value, and then they corrupt it with the other stuff. And I feel like James Vowles is maybe trying to I'm at Williams and I'm doing it different. I'm trying to do it I'm not going to be fully on that wave, but I'm going to do it a little bit different.
We will wear the white button downs. That's non-negotiable.
Yeah, I will do straight to cams where I'm talking about the greatness of the company and the greatness of the legacy and all this stuff, which feels a little bit sermon-y, but hey, the results are there. The results are there. And the argument is that actually James Vowles had more to do with that. Mercedes' success. Toto was the front-facing person, but James Vowles is a bit more of the brains, a bit more of the knowledge there.
Well, he was head of their strategy department. He was actually had something to do with the actual racing. you know what I'm saying? As opposed to just being a 30% shareholder, rich guy.
And hot as hell.
And hot as fuck.
Yeah.
He got 7th place, which, considering where the car was last year, is like a fucking miracle. That car was dog shit. And they had one driver. Do you imagine if they had 2 Albons?
Literally. Yeah, Albon 27 points this fucking year.
What do we think about Sargeant? You think he's going to get his
I know. Well, James Vowles came out with a very cryptic James Vowles this whole year has been like, Logan's our guy. We believe in Logan. You know, he's had a tough road because he came in a little bit green, a little bit fresh, but we've seen stuff that we really like with Logan. Then the last 2 weeks happened, and then the quote from today is like, Logan, he'll always be a part of the family. He'll always be a part. He's always going to have a place here at the larger Williams organization. Network. Yes. Yeah. Which, like, you know, it doesn't take a fucking genius to read between what those lines.
After saying he's our driver, we're behind him 100%, but like, because that was for Logan's like confidence. But like once they took that little wheel out of his hands, and you're like, okay, you get out of the car. Okay, you're out of the car. Amazing. Yeah, we don't have to keep boosting his confidence anymore.
Right. Right.
Because if his confidence is any lower, he'll literally cost us millions of dollars in damages.
Yeah.
It's tough.
So I don't know. It's looking.
I don't know, because it's like, do they want? Because even like, what are they? It's so marginal. Like, yeah, they could replace him, but like,
well, the thing is,
then the guy's gonna fucking crash the car and be
right.
The average rookie is gonna just suck. So, do you want to like go through that pain again?
Unless they don't bring in a rookie, unless they like bring in like a Lawson, or like bring someone.
Who are they going to retread? Who do you do?
I was just like Romain Grosjean came to mind, but like that's a fucking nightmare waiting to happen.
I'm sorry. If they brought back Romain Grosjean, that'd be
incredible. But the thing is, like 10th, you know, Haas was in 10th in last with 12 points, Alpha with 16 in 9th, AlphaTauri with 25, Williams with 28 and 7th, and then it's Alpine with 120 points. So like that jump, like they're at the top of the bottom. So it is a little bit
and AlphaTauri is going to get them next year.
That's true.
There's no way they're beating AlphaTauri next year, because they're going to start cooperating more with Red Bull.
Yeah.
Getting more parts from them. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who you bring. I guess you bring in Lawson, but I think that he should get to see. I think I'd like to see him in another year.
I want my drivers to give me more. I want them all to be like George Russell. Right. Just give me content. It's like you're not racing well, and you're not giving me content.
Yep.
You're just boring. You're just boring me.
I'm bored. Speaking of not being bored, radio of the day. Any other good radios from today? There were a few. I mean, there was like all the fucking back and forth. Charles' like monologue. Charles, that was like the longest radio message I've ever like seen written out. I was like, that's a fucking, you know, talking about Checo. This is the plan, guys. Okay. At my 6, you're gonna take a hard left. He's gonna go in front of me, but because of the 5 seconds, he's gonna be behind.
He's Charlie Day with the wall.
Yeah,
of like
exactly
trying to explain to Ferrari how they're gonna get P2 in the championship.
Right, and they're like, okay, I guess whatever you say. I mean, the George Russell. What the fuck does that mean? Beautiful.
Perfect. No notes.
What do you think of Checo saying? What do you think of Checo's penalty? I thought it was kind of bullshit.
I don't know if you're like ahead because you fucking send it like that hard. You know, I just have very low sympathy for like. I'm sorry that he's just always in that scenario. He's always in that exact scenario where he has qualified like shit. He's rushing.
Yeah.
I'm late for a very important date. And and Lando Norris is like, I also have aspirations towards a podium, you know?
Right.
And he sends it.
Yeah.
And it's always him that does it. Maybe if I just don't. It's a dumb rule, but I just think if you kind of send it, I don't care that you're ahead like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's kind of a bullshit technicality, and they governed it. They governed it as such.
Like Checo might say, "I'm ahead." I'm like, "Yeah," because you completely like didn't brake and just fucking steamed into the corner like that.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm not going to try to hold like his pass. I just felt like off of what I saw, I was like, that doesn't feel like a 5-second penalty to me. And I was kind of like, is this fucking Mercedes meddling? I was getting conspiratorial with that. But no, to me, radio of the day has to be George Russell saying, "My tires feel reasonable. They feel reasonable." At the end of the day, they're feeling reasonable.
He was feeling fucking awesome that Hamilton was knocked out in Q1. That's a man. That's a man who has Hamilton knocked out in Q1. See, that's what I'm saying. That's the problem with guys like George and
Carlos
Norris and all these guys, right? Who are not internally motivated necessarily if their teammates is out of the hunt.
Yeah, I mean, I think that George is a little bit different. I think that George is fucking motivated, but I think that like Lewis has fucked with him so heavy that I don't think that's like George as a person. I think that like that's the power of Lewis. I think George is fucking motivated. Like that guy is one-track minded. Like all he wants to do is be the best, but then he's like,
yes, that's true.
He's found himself between a rock and a hard place.
But in his voice, he's so relaxed and blissed out that Lewis is out in Q1. Well, I don't think Alonso's like, how do I fucking like? There's nothing that changes based on where his teammate is really.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I don't think he needs that extra carrot. But yeah.
Red flag of the day.
I'm really pissed that Brundle stole this from me because I've been saying this.
Yeah.
The fucking tear-offs, dude. It's the dumbest fucking thing.
Right.
I saw it like when I was watching it. I saw someone fucking pull it off, throw it off, and it was like flying in the wind, glinting. You can see them glinting as they're flapping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because the things suck air. So I'm like, wow, one of these is going to get sucked in. And sure enough, Ricardo had a fucking tear off in his breakdown. I'm like, are you just allowed to throw cans of soda onto the road? Like on a freeway?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Just put it down below. Right. Put it in a bag or something. And then Brundle said, like, I don't get why they're allowed to just toss it out the fucking side and let it go. He was like, and it's not like a new thing that they have to innovate. It's like a thing that they forgot to do. They used to do and now don't for some reason. He's like, we used to have a bag that we put them in.
Yeah. It's like it's like an Anchorman when Will Ferrell's driving on the car and then he's like la-di-da and he just throws his
burrito
thing out and burrito out and it hits Jack Black who's on a bike and he's like and he crashes and he's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, and he's like, man, you're so breed on my face. You're so breed on my face. He goes, you just killed my bike. You just destroyed my bike, the one thing I ever loved. What's one thing that you love? And then he does the whole list. And my dear friend Baxter here. And then he takes the dog and kicks him off the bridge.
Well, now this is happening.
Well, now this is happening. That's kind of what it is. Just like, whoop. And then who cares about the chaos and destruction that happens behind me?
It just seems so avoidable. There's just no good reason why. It happens at least twice a year.
Yeah, at least. No,
Once or twice
it's a
a year.
Very easy fix. You just put a little place in the cockpit where they can put them.
It's nuts.
It fucked up Ricciardo's race today. They could have potentially it might have cost them millions of dollars with. They were 3 points behind Williams. They finished 3 points behind Williams.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. It's so stupid to me. What's your red flag?
My red flag is, Ferrari as an organization. Those are obvious ones. We've kind of already covered it, but this isn't red flag, but I got to talk about it. What the fuck? These front wings. It's like, it happened to Charles when his front wing was fucked up. Where was that? Where was Charles's fucked up front wing all damaged and destroyed?
I don't remember. They're all right.
It happened a few weeks ago when Charles's front wing was completely destroyed. He still had a bunch of pace. It happened in Vegas when Max's front wing was fucked up and he still had a bunch of pace. And it happened today with Lewis where the front wing was fucked up and he still had pace. It's not a red flag, but it's just for the dumb. It's just for all the dummies like me when you play the video game and the front wing's damaged and it's like, how much does it really do? And then we see it in action.
Is it just a bunch of nerds that are trying to justify their jobs, convincing us that it does shit? That's what it makes me think.
Right.
Like it's people that work in the front wing department that are convincing us that it's making all the difference.
And and I'm not saying it doesn't make any difference, but there's a kind of like, if it's not exactly how it should be, then there's no point in even having it out there.
You know what I think it is?
Like,
I think it might be you could drive the car fast. It's just harder to do.
Right.
Like you might be struggling.
Yeah.
A little bit. It's just the difficulty level went from a 90 to 100.
Yeah.
And you got to be a little bit. It's like playing Halo on Legendary all of a sudden.
Right. Yeah.
Which I would always get killed immediately doing. But it was it was a terrible race. Just
let's go over who placed where, the final standings of it all. We're gonna do our flaggies give out the awards next week. But in the final tally for the constructors, Red Bull Racing, Honda, Red Bull Powertrains, 860 points for them. Mercedes in second with 409 points. Ferrari in third with 406 points. McLaren in fourth with 302 points. Aston Martin in fifth, 280. Alpine sixth, 120. Williams, 28. AlphaTauri in eighth with 25. Alfa Romeo with 16. And Haas with 12. Haas in last. Kind of sneaky last place. Kind of a sneaky last. Because I guess this year there wasn't like anyone who just like got no points. There were little moments here and there. Then in the drivers' standings, the final tally, Max with 575 points, Sergio with 285, Lewis in third with 234, Fernando Alonso with 206. This got so close. Fernando Alonso technically ahead of Charles Leclerc because Charles Leclerc and Fernando were tied with points, both with 206 points. Lando Norris with 205 points, Carlos Sainz with 200 points. That was when that was all like switching around. That was. Yeah,
without Red Bull, this is like an amazing season. Yeah.
George Russell in 8th with 175. Oscar Piastri in 9th with 97. Lance Stroll in 10th with 74. Pierre Gasly with 62. Esteban Ocon with 58. Alex Albon with 27. Yuki Tsunoda in 14th with 17. Valtteri Bottas with 10 in 15th. Nico Hulkenberg with 9. Daniel Ricciardo in 17th with 6, ahead of Zhou Guanyu, even they both tied, but he's ahead of him for some reason. I don't know how they
I think it's because he got a higher place, maybe.
Like his ceiling was higher.
Yeah,
Zhou with 6 points as well. K-Mag with 3 points. Tough for K-Mag. Liam Lawson in 20th.
How much did Hulk get?
Hulk got 9 and K-Mag got 3.
Ooh.
Liam Lawson in 20th with 2 points.
He did do more numbies with his daughter.
Yeah. And the ice bath.
And the ice bath.
Logan Sargeant with 21st with 1 point. And Nick DeVries. That feels like a lifetime ago that Nick DeVries was in this fucking sport. That feels like so fucking long ago.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Damn.
Crazy.
We didn't really cover this. There was all this. There was more shit with Gasly and Ocon. Gasly was complaining about the strategy.
Oh yeah, they undercut him.
They undercut him. He's like, "Why are you undercutting me with our own fucking teammate, dude?" They're like, "Don't worry about it." That's gonna fucking pop off next year. Like there were a couple moments, but like I'm still waiting for that thing to explode.
Yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah, 2023 in the fucking books. 2024 is coming up. We got the off season. We're going to try to line up some amazing guests for you guys. Keep it interesting for you.
Yeah.
Oh,
thanks.
man.
Yeah, write in who you'd like, what you want us to do. You know.
Yeah, if you have any ideas for off-season EPs, let us know. Also, join the fucking Patreon, dude. Join the Patreon. Become a part of the fucking resistance.
This is when it gets good, honestly. This is when it's going to get
This is when it gets fun.
Because everybody else shuts down for the winter.
Yeah. Not us, baby.
Not us Jews, man. Not Christmas. Christmas. What is Christmas to us?
Yeah, that's right.
We just keep chugging along.
All right, 2023 in the fucking books. We're gonna Well, next week we'll be covering it the whole season a little bit more, but yeah, it's done, man.
Yeah, Jenny wants us to do fuck, marry, kill the podium.
Right, yeah, fuck, marry, kill the real podium. So what is that? That's Leclerc, George Russell, Sergio Perez. I feel like we've done these so many times. Gonna kill Sergio, fuck Charles, and marry George Russell because George will keep it fucking interesting, dude.
Yeah, I'm marrying George Russell.
Keep me laughing.
Yeah, I'm marrying that guy. God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I got nothing to add.
Venkers, we love you. Thank you for an amazing season. Whether you've been with us since day one or you're newly on the bandwagon, we're happy to have you here. We'll see you next week, same time. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere. Goodbye, Venkers.
Goodbye.